If you're looking for power, luxury blend, performance that's going to be more than a 3 Series, look no further. Since 2019, BMW has offered this, and today BMW of Wesley Chapel presents to us the 2022 BMW M340i in your Portimao blue metallic, with rivals like your Mercedes AMG C43, Lexus IS, Volvo S60. New for the year is going to have deleted features due to the supply chain problems, revised optional packages, one of the best sports sedans that's on the market, especially when you're considering getting a 3 Series and you don't want to go full M. This is definitely something to look at. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and we're going to go over all the specs and details starting now. BMW M340i receives the Shadowline trim with the Shadowline lights. That's the Icon Adaptive LED with BMW laser. No 4 Series grille. We're going to have the double kidney grille, the gloss black. You're going to get the cerium gray. It's an active shutter. Aerodynamic kit, M Sport front bumpers with the side functional air curtains. The gloss black is going to be on the lower. You got the lower spoiler lip, and everything is nice and functional. Gives a sporty stance at 71.9 inches. It's going to be about a ½ inch wider. It's also going to be taller at 56.4 inches. A long flat hood stresses the performance, and it just teardrops into these flared out fenders that's going to encase these 19-inch 5 double spoke M gloss black alloy wheels. M brakes with the blue calipers, 13.7-inch disc reading, 4 pistons up front, 13.6. It's a single floating piston. The Shadowline comes into the side with the gloss black mirror caps, and you're going to get the gloss over all of the window trims and even into the center. On the lower sills, it's going to be super aggressive with that aerodynamic kit. M Sports tuned suspension, a double pivot type with anti-roll bars. Stiffer spring strut is going to be up front. The rear 5-link cast aluminum upper transversal arm. M differential. The weight distribution at 52.6 to 47.4, so you have the dynamics, a length at 185.7 inches. Wheelbase 112.2 inches. All those aerodynamic lines just flow right into the M rear spoiler. M rear bumper, that's what we're going to receive. Dual exhaust outlets, and they're going to be outlined with the cerium gray. You're going to get the gloss black that's going to insert it, and it really keeps that aggressive proportion with the side sills. I like that they move the reflector up here underneath your LED tail lamps, because that way it just has a better proportion layout. Very nice, and gives that athletic styling. Going inside to your cargo at 17 cubic feet. There's storage on both sides with a 12-volt. The rear bench split folds at a 40-20-40 split with a pass-through 360-degree camera and your reverse parking sensors. But this is M Performance. It is a twin-power turbo engine. Let's hear that exhaust note. The BMW M340i brings the performance elements, which are suspension, your wheels, your brakes, and they back the performance with a 3.0-liter BMW M twin power turbo inline 6-cylinder with e-boost, 48-volt mild hybrid technology, producing 382 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. And what makes the engine so special, 25% reduction in turbo impeller mass for quicker response. New twin scroll turbocharge integrates into steel exhaust manifold for faster response and more power. Previously, the exhaust in the manifold and turbo were 2 separate items. lower compression ratio to offset greater turbo boost, new high precision direct injection operation at 350 bars of pressure, up from 200 bars in the previous 340i. New dual branch exhaust system, new 8th gen DME 8.6T1 engine management, split cooling circuit, low temp for air to liquid intercool and high temp for engine cooling. One-piece timing chain reduces friction comparison to the previous two-piece timing chain. Overall, the engine benefits from improved cooling and reduction in components, weight, internal friction, and emissions. That's paired to an 8-speed ZF automatic transmission, achieving 23 to 32 mpgs. BMW says 0 to 60 is at 4.4 seconds. A top speed at 130 miles per hour, the quarter mile at just a little bit over 11 seconds. The speed that you're getting for the price point, and it's not full M, is insane. Let me know what you think in the comments about the 2022 BMW M340i as we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test run. Entering inside the BMW M340i, you're going to receive 38.7 inches of headroom, 42 inches of legroom, black leather with blue contrast stitching, sports seats, heated front seats, 14-way power adjustment for the driver with manual cushion extension. It's going to be an 8-way power adjustment for the passenger with the manual cushion extension. They have deleted the lumbar support, which you're going to save maybe $80. So it's something that I don't necessarily like, but I understand because they're having some issues with the products. The dash, going to be flat with the Sensatech blue stitching, does look good. No heads-up display. The center cluster is not going to receive the 10.25 touchscreen either. It's going to have a delete touchscreen, which is $500 less. Touch-sensitive settings that can be very easy to set. No touchscreen. It's a touchscreen delete. So you have to use everything with the iDrive 7. Click into your home page so we can see everything that we have. Click into the driver. We still have all the same settings, just not the touch screen capabilities. So carrying cars, you can change the mood set on that. We have Spotify, Bluetooth connectivity, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM. If you change the modes to Sport, Standard, Sport Plus, Individual, or you can configure it yourself to make it as sport derived as you like. Switch to reverse. You do have a 360-degree camera with full trajectory for both the front and the rear. Because this is not touchscreen, you will have to rely on the iDrive to change the settings on that. You have your automatic parking. You have your 3D view, which is pretty nice. And the nice thing about this is when you roll the knob, it is pretty easy. It will go all around the vehicle, so that way you can see every single thing or any objects that are pretty much in its way. You also have the car wash, which I always say is my favorite because it does have the lines that help you indicate going inside the car wash. Ambient lighting, oak matte finish wood trim, Harman Kardon sound system, tri-climate control, delete backup assist. So there's going to be a lot of deletions. Also the digital key. Both of those is going to save you about $180. So it's not really about the savings. Unfortunately, they just don't have it. In the center here, you're going to have your sport mode, eco comfort with your iDrive 7. Open up in here. You're going to have some storage with a USB-C port. Elbows are going to be more sport derived. 3-spoke M leather wrap steering wheel. It's heated multi-function with the paddle shifters. The gauge cluster is a 12.3 live cockpit, so I do like that. When you change the modes from sport, it's going to change it to look more aggressive in red. Sport Plus will do the same exact thing, or Sport Individual. When you go into Comfort, it's going to change the tachometer. When you go into Eco, it will not even have a tachometer. It will basically coach you how to get optimal gas consumption. Cup holders, you can fit a 16.9-ounce water bottle. I'd say a 20 ounces max with a 12-volt, another USB, and your wireless charging pad. I don't really like how they put all of your electronics around your drinks, but you know, it's been working all these years. Power sunroof, door panel will have some harder materials on the top, memory for the driver, one touch up and down for all the windows with that blue contrast stitching and the ambient lighting. Storage in the door panel, I would say you can easily fit maybe 3 or 4 16.9-ounce water bottles. At the end of the day, this is more of a sports sedan. Yes, you can fit a family, and I'm going to show you when we get into the back. For the back seats, I'm at 37.6 inches of headroom, 35.2 inches of legroom. I fit relatively fine. You will have your third climate control settings, 2 USB-C ports with your air vent storage behind both of the front seats. The floor is not completely flat, and it does feel a little bit more dark back here, given that luxury, but you get the ambient lighting in the door panel. Elbows are going to be really soft in the center, which are cup holders that you can fit maybe a 20 ounce. I would say 32 ounce is going to be tough. Door panel is going to have harder materials on the top. You get that blue stitching, ambient lighting, one touch up and down, and storage here is where you're going to lack a little bit, but you can still fit about 2 or 3 16.9 ounce water bottles, which is pretty good when it comes to a sports car sedan. Let's see how I look in the center. Sitting into the center, headroom is still not really an issue. Legroom is going to be a little tight if the position of the passenger seat is the way I have it, but if it's configured the way I drive, I can fit without any issues. I am sharing leg space, foot space, butt space, shoulder space. The seats don't really flare around you. They fit more of a bench. So the layout to it is going to be up in the center, but it's still decent and it doesn't feel like I'm really on any one side. The nice thing about sitting into the back seat at 6'3", you can fit pretty decent and you actually sit back a little bit. It's not really like a 90-degree angle. I'd say it's like a $120. So you do fit a little bit more comfortable in the way it kind of goes around your back. It almost feels like it's support, very sporty, drive, similar to the front seats. Taking the 2022 BMW M340i out for our test run, 382 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque out of that inline 6-cylinder twin-scroll turbocharged. So compression ratio at 10.2, it is insane what they've done with the logics and the engineering to make this vehicle even more powerful. Ground clearance, you can see it's not necessarily too bad. You do sit a little bit lower, but it does feel a little bit more aggressive. So I do like the stance that you get out of it. You don't even have to worry too much for speed bumps because you have about 5.5 inches of ground clearance. The length is not too bad either, under 190 inches. So, I mean, when you're looking at these numbers and then that 0 to 60 being in the low 4 seconds, some different reviewers have even said that they could get it in like 4.1 to 3.9 seconds, but BMW says 4.4 seconds, which is super quick for a vehicle that's in the 60 grand price point. Things that I dislike off the top though is that they are deleting things, and I just don't feel like the price that they're giving you is enough of a discount because of what you're really missing. I mean, you're missing the gesture, you're missing the pinch, the swipe. That's a lot for that navigation screen, and you're only getting like $100. Now, obviously, you do have the voice recognition, which you can see it works really well, so that is good. The iDrive 7 works very flawless as well. It's a very fast and intuitive system. Just, I would have liked to have the touch screen, and you could tell that this is not the normal screen that would be in the vehicle. We have it in sport mode. We're going to see how well she performs. It's a little bit wet outside, as you've been seeing through the review, so we're going to try to get it straight. So we're going to see now. Stop right here. Hopefully no one's coming, and here we go, guys. And performance is what you get with an exhaust note that is very intoxicating. I do like it. Smooth transitioning too. I mean, the suspension just holds itself really well. You're not going to have any issues with that. You do have launch control because it's so slippery. I don't think I'm going to engage it, but we'll see throughout the ride. As for looking and visibility in the front, it's pretty good. The A-pillars are pretty large, but this is again a sports sedan, so you're wanting to get that aggressive stance. Turn radius at more or less a stop point is going to be pretty tight actually. It's about 2 lanes, and give it some gas. It just has so much power. It's insane. It really is insane. The quality that you get out of that power too, it just really does set you back good. The sports seating feels nice. It kind of hugs you. It's not going to be as tight as M-spec seats. So just keep that in mind when you're looking for a vehicle, not a 3 Series, but performance driven. This one definitely will fit that tag because you still have a luxury feel in the interior. Plus you can see it is ever so quick. Downshift a bit, and here we go, guys. I mean, I guess the only problem that I see is that you get to the speed super quick, that the enjoyment's there. You got the safety features, put it back into comfort, you don't hear anything, there's no dual pane windows, the sound deadening is good, riding over impurities, it's really smooth, even with the M-Tune suspension. Now there is 3 things I like and 3 things that I dislike. Is anything more than that, I'd be buying this vehicle. The 3 things that I like about the vehicle is it's the slot in between your M and not your base, but it's above them, which is great because it actually has an awesome power out of it. I mean, nearly 400 horsepower for this price tag. Usually you're hovering around the 6-figure price point. So that is excellent, and the engineering that goes behind it, like I was saying on the exterior specs, it's crazy what they've done to get everything out of this inline twin-scroll turbocharged engine. The second thing that I like about the vehicle is the fact that it's still luxurious in the interior. The seats, even in the back seat, is comfortable, like I was saying on the interior specs, except for the center. It's going to be a little bit more firm, but you expect that out of a smaller sedan. The last thing that I like about the vehicle is not only you have performance, you have safety, you still get the technology. On the flip side, 3 things that I dislike is they delete the technology. They delete the passenger lumbar support. They delete the active key. I understand some of these things you may not ever use, but the touchscreen, the lumbar support, you're definitely going to use, and I get it. Quality control, we got COVID going on. It's just like, I don't know, maybe give us something in between. I'm going to activate the launch control. Here we go. I mean, it gets you up to speed a lot quicker. So the launch control does work really good. The second thing that I dislike about the vehicle is with the launch control, it's a little bit tricky. It's actually took me quite a little bit to get the understanding of it, and I do review vehicles, so I understand Audi has a very similar spec the way they do it. It just would be nicer to just have a simple launch control button, rev up, and just go like they do in Dodge. And I'm not trying to compare this to Dodge by any standard. It just would make it a little bit easier. The last thing that I dislike about the vehicle is we don't have the heads-up display, but they leave the area cut out, and it's not an eyesore, but it kind of sort of is. I would have rather just had a flat dash, and I get it for what's going on now with the designing and quality control. Yet again, it's just, don't leave empty spaces, and that's kind of what happens when you're starting to get into these vehicles that are built in the COVID days. You're going to be losing some features. They're going to give you some money back. As for fun factor, I would say this is definitely like an 8 out of a 10. If I'm comparing it, like I've said for the rivals, as the Mercedes AMG C43, excellent vehicle. However, I don't feel the excitement as much as I do in this, because I know that there's a C63S, which is even more powerful. I know that there's an M3. However, when I'm getting this, I'm getting luxury and performance, and I'm saving a pretty decent amount of money, because when you compare it, it would be about $5,000 to $7,000 more to get the Mercedes AMG C43. So yet again, price point or value of what you get, this one really does take the cake. You also have your blind spot monitoring, your frontal collision with mitigation, pedestrian, you got your rear cross traffic alert, so your safety is taken care of as well. And you're doing this with a huge savings and still backing it with performance. Comparing against Volvo S60, I like the S60, but that's more for luxury. Yes, you can get the recharge and it is super quick. It actually is about 4.3 seconds, so it's a touch quicker than this. However, when you get to that level of performance and price point, you're going to be, again, $5,000, $10,000 more. So you got to look for the value that you're getting. And this being in the $60,000 perimeter, great bang for your buck. Everyday used car, steering is going to be nice and tight. Even if you put it in the sport mode, like I've shown you before in all of the BMW reviews, whether it's M Spec or the M Sports, they just do a great job. The dynamics could be a little bit better. I mean, 52 point-ish to 47-ish dynamics for the weight distribution, it's not necessarily the greatest, and BMW is doing a lot better with the SUVs. Obviously, depending on the tier you go to, it's going to be better in the dynamics and the characteristics of the drive. I'd like to thank BMW of Wesley Chapel for giving us this 2022 BMW M340i for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, click that subscribe button, check out the website, details, merchandise, and everything we do here at Hawkeye Rock.